Hi everyone, so today we will discuss about the immune system breakthrough. But before we start, let me read our learning objectives first. Here, we need to understand the role of the immune system, understand pathogens, identify and describe the lines of defenses, understand how both the animal immune system and the plant immune system work, and be able to differentiate the immune system of the two, which are the animal immune system and the plant immune system. So first, what is immune system? It is the body's line of defense against germs, diseases causing changes in the body, malfunctioning cells, and other foreign particles. There are two types of immunity. First, we have active immunity, which means your body knows how to make antibodies, and passive immunity, which means you receive antibodies from another source, but your body does not know how to make them. The immune system has two main parts, and these are the innate immune system, which means the first line of defense of the immune system, and it is acquired during birth. Next is acquired immune system, which develops after exposure from specific invader, and the third or second line of defense for plants. We also have the so-called pathogens, which are the living organisms that cause diseases in another organism. And animal and plants pathogens are different from each other. For the pathogens of animals, we have bacteria, virus, fungi, and protists. For the pathogens of plants, we have fungi, bacteria, nematodes, virus, and parasitic plants. Now, in order to fight off any foreign substances that will enter our body, our immune system has things called line of defenses, which refers to the mechanisms and countermeasures of the immune system.
So we will now gonna talk about the first line of defense or outside defense system. It is the body's physical and chemical barriers that protect the body from infection. It prevents pathogen entering to your body or major organs of the body. This defense is described as non-specific because they do not target any specific pathogens. Meaning of non-specific, it is generalized immunity that all humans are born with, like skin, saliva, cilia, and stomach acid. So these are the first line of defense. First is the skin. Our body's largest organ serves as a robust and impermeable barrier. Its outermost layer, the epidermis, forms a tough shield that prevents microbes from penetrating deeper tissues. The epidermis consists of cells that are packed with keratin. The keratin makes the skin's surface mechanically tough and resistant to degradation by bacterial enzymes. Keratin also helps to make the outer surface of the skin relatively waterproof. This helps the surface of skin dry, which reduces microbial growth. Shedding of skin cells helps remove adherent pathogen, further contributing to its protective role. Second is mucus and cilia. Mucus is a clear and slippery gel-like substance that's part of your immune system. It lines your mucous membranes and helps trap and destroy or clear out germs and harmful particles. Mucus gets thick and sticky and might be white, yellow, green when you have an infection. It is also called phlegm or snot. Mucus also helps the body's immune response by trapping irritants and allowing the body to expel them through coughing. Cilia are tiny hair-like projections that line the airways and move mucus to trap and expel pathogens and other particles from the lungs. Third is saliva. Saliva is not just essential for initial breakdown of food. It is also plays a defensive role. It contains antimicrobial agents like lysozymes and antibodies, which can help neutralize harmful microbes before they reach the digestive tract. And fourth is the stomach acid. Swallowed bacteria are broken down by incredibly strong acids in the stomach that break down your food. It is hydrochloric acid, and while it does us no harm, it is strong enough to kill any pathogens that have been caught in mucus or in the airways or consumed in food or water. Also, stomach acid is a chemical barrier against infection. So that's all for the first line of defense, and now we will proceed to the second line of defense.
Animals, like humans, have a secondary line of defense against infection in addition to the innate immune system, which is a first line of defense. Secondary line of defense is also known as the adaptive immune system, and it is activated when the innate immunity fails to stop a pathogen. When pathogen bypass the first line of defense, the secondary line of defense activates. This system involves the production of antibodies and T cells, which are specialized cells that recognize and neutralize specific pathogens. The secondary immune response is also able to remember specific pathogens and mount a transfer and stronger response upon secure exposure. It also involves white blood cells, which are specialized cells that can recognize and attack pathogens. It also involves inflammatory responses, which help to isolate and destroy pathogens, and interferons, which are proteins produced by host cells in response to viruses that can help to prevent further replication of the virus.
The third line of defense of the animal immune system is developed after specific exposures from pathogens. This immune system is also called adaptive immunity system. This immune system produces T cells that destroy infectious and cancerous cells and B cells that help create antibodies to destroy pathogens. The third line of defense is also activated when the first and second line fail to defend pathogens. Moving on to plants. The plant immune system is also made up of complex and long-lasting mechanisms that help fight off pathogens to keep the plant healthy and alive. Unlike animals, the plant immune system only has two lines of defense. The first line of defense of plants is activated when pattern recognition receptors detect microbe general elicitors. The first line of defense of plants is also similar to animals. Their first line is also composed of physical barriers, such as the cuticle, cell wall, and barks, activated when pathogens bypass the first line defense. The second line has a mechanism called effector-triggered immunity, where it either increases the strength of the cell wall or causes cell death within the plant. Cell death is done in order to stop pathogens from multiplying inside the plant. The second line of defense of plants can also respond by creating pathogen-degrading enzymes such as pectinases, cellulase, proteases, and silonases. Now that we are done with the lines of defense, I will be showing a Venn diagram that will summarize everything and compare the differences of the immune system of plants and animals. In this comparison, we can see the differences of both. For animals, they have three lines of defense. They fight off bacteria, fungi, viruses, and protists. They have adaptive immunity. They have T cells and B cells. They have both active and passive immunity, and they produce antibodies. As for plants, they rely on their innate immune system. They do not possess adaptive immunity. They have effector-triggered immunity. They create pathogen-degrading enzymes, and they have only two lines of defense. As for things they have in common, both rely on their immune systems to fight off pathogens, both have innate immune systems, and both have mechanisms that respond and recognize pathogens. And those are the differences between the two and the things that they have in common.
There you have it. That concludes our reporting for today. If you have further questions or any clarifications, kindly put it down below in the comment section. See you on the next one.